Ticker symbol DNUT, or donut, is in focus today on the Yahoo Finance platform. That's after the owner of that ticker, Krispy Kreme, issued better than expected full-year sales guidance. The company did, however, miss second quarter analyst earnings estimates by a penny, despite seeing strong demand for its hot, soft donuts. Joining us now is Krispy Kreme CEO Mike Tattersfield. Mike, good to talk with you again here. I still don't think investors understand what you're doing with this hub and spoke model, where I believe, if I have it right, you order donuts online and you have it delivered from a location. Is that a profitable model? And take us through how you're expanding that.
No, so it's great to chat again, Brian. Good to see you. I really appreciate being able to chat with all the folks. Q2's performance was one of the best quarters that we've had as a public company, as we just came back. We just went public a little over a month ago. And it's really driven by two pieces. One, I'll get at the hub and spoke, but the first is just a global transformation, where we actually now majority own 6 countries, and also 85% of the US. The second part of that transformation allows to do exactly what you say, is the hub and spoke system. So we rely on our theater shops, those hot light shops that a lot of the people around the world know, and then bring the hot donuts or bring fresh donuts to where the customers are in a fresh model distribution system. So really pushing on what I call points of access. And that's very different than what we used to do before. So it's getting points of access in an urban location. It might be in a fresh shop, it also might be in a grocer, and it might be in a convenience shop. And that also unlocks e-commerce. So that's very different than our past, which was a very typical franchisor model, and just building out hot lights everywhere. We actually value scarcity, and the model now is really about producing amazing donuts, especially the original glaze, and then making sure that we can get it fresh to where the customers are. That's the difference in the model. And you can see it in the international business, which has actually been developing this omni-channel model ahead of us. And that's what we call it. And it's part of the hub and spoke is part of it. And it was built and designed that way. And their profitability that you can see in Q2 was significant, because the frequency from the points of access, including our hot light shops, really worked. And you can see that in the performance.
It's also a different model, Mike, relative to a lot of your competitors. Are you gaining more shelf space in the likes of a Walmart and other grocery stores?
Well, the fresh model, we're starting to be, here's the reality. The fresh will continue to build our model, and it'll be long-term 5 to 10% of ACV. So you got to think of our company a little differently. It's more of a hybrid CPG company with these amazing hot light shops that can do hot donuts, glazing and different flavors at that point, and then getting them to the point of access. The growth is going to be primarily through the grocery and convenience channels. We look at we're going to do about 800 to 1,000 points of access on a yearly basis. And we've identified, even the 30 countries, including the US, where we have today, about 6,000 points of access growth in front of us.
Mike, I think an asset that is in the business that perhaps people were reacquainted with through the public process is Insomnia Cookies. And I'm curious what that showed you in the second quarter. And as I associate Insomnia, I think about it from my college years. I associate it with a college campus or a college town. And, is that business maybe poised to have a stronger back half of the year with a return to more normalcy on, most college campuses in the U.S.?
Yeah, so Insomnia is just a great. We took a majority stake, and the partner, the owner, founder, Seth, stayed with us, and he's really leading the team, and it's an amazing job. They did incredible last year as they evolved their business. They are an e-commerce primarily driven business, which is about 50% of it is, and they evolved into gifting and delivery as their main vehicle, even when colleges were in a hybrid state. So we see they just crossed their 200th cookie shop opening. And yes, we see as colleges return back to normal, we can see growth there. But the omni-channel model, both in Krispy Kreme and in Insomnia, just shows you the strength. Because even under last year, when it was really challenging to operate under the pandemic, in both our brands, they had great years.
Mike, you didn't punt this question on the earnings call regarding inflation. You did say you are seeing significant inflation in oils, sugars, and that you are taking a price increase in September. How much more will it cost me to buy a Krispy Kreme donut in September?
You know, we're really disciplined on pricing. We're a dozens business, right? So, we do always pay attention to an accessible price point. So when you think about the pricing that will happen in a dozen, you won't really see it that much, right? We do sell dozens. We sell in occasions. We see the shift happening naturally. As people upgrade, for example, you just were mentioning, our s'mores donuts, right? Where they're a higher priced donut. So within the balance of mix and price, it's got to be worth it, right? And as long as we can keep it, you'll still see some price point around $1 per individual donut when you're looking at a dozen if you're buying original glaze. Somewhere around there. That doesn't mean we only hold at $1. We'll continue to look at. We do have pricing power. We're really thoughtful, and we think about it around the globe, right? That's one of the unique things about being a celebratory brand. And if people love you across all continents, and now we have a business model which is pretty clear, from the Hot Light Theater shops to points of access, and then making sure that we can move our dozens business, our donuts, and then they're used in celebratory occasions. They're used, all over the world for pretty interesting aspect that the consumer wants to engage and enjoy.
Hey, Mike, it's Julie here. When you're talking about it's a dozens business, when people are coming into the store, how often are they buying a dozen versus a single donut? And then when you shift on over to delivery, what kinds of trends are you seeing there? Because I imagine, I don't know if you have a delivery minimum for people who are ordering from home, but it seems like margins are already tight on delivery. If you're just buying a donut and a coffee, that it's not going to be worth a lot to you guys.
So because the brand is used a lot for occasions, and as how people will celebrate and use our brand, which is pretty unique in its own right, about 75% of our donuts are sold in primarily in dozens. So that's a pretty unique aspect of that. That carries over as well into delivery. So we don't see one donut order. We see dozens, sometimes even a 2 dozen order.
Mike, you're seeing on the screen those Hershey's donuts. Definitely, I would say innovation from you guys. What else do you have on tap from the menu innovation front? I know coffee has been a big focus by you as well.
Yeah, we're a donut company. That's one of the unique things that we really focus on, and the change in the brand, because everybody asks, so what's different? I think I talked about last time our focus on donuts and how we use even an innovation and to drive frequency. Last year, we sold 1.3 billion donuts. Since June 30th this year, we're at 750 million donuts. So the focus is about donuts and their occasion. That's where we spend our time and energy. That's what's really driving the brand. The growth is there. It's a frequency of getting to the points of access, the right innovation, and then locking e-commerce, which you can also get into gifting as well. So it's a pretty unique aspect of what we try to do. Beverages can play a role, but they play a role primarily in urban locations where we'll have a fresh shop, right, where someone will come in for beverage. But the old model of building a coffee shop, franchisor model is not the model that we use today. And you can see the profitability and the change of the model in our more mature omni-channel model, which is our international business. And we just see tremendous growth opportunity, not just in the 30 countries we're in, but we've proven this model works in all these continents. And we're actually now really looking at new geographies. In fact, tomorrow we'll open up in Egypt with our partner out in the Middle East. That's a population of 100 million in the country and 20 million in Cairo. So we just see, again, the accessible part of our brand. It focuses on donuts. The different channel approaches will have different product mixes, but it is a focus on doing donuts. 93% of what we sold in our retail shops were donuts.
Mike, real quickly, before we let you go, you mentioned you're opening in Egypt. You're making a big international push. I'm sure you have seen what's going on in Afghanistan. Does that push internationally into other Middle East countries? Does that change the risk profile of a Krispy Kreme?
We use, again, partners in other parts of the world. So Americana is our partner there. They're one of our most successful franchisees. When we put our own capital in play, we'll do that. The world is continuing looking for our brand. That won't change how we continue to think about it. It's making sure the brand, from its essence, is to drive joy and enhance the lives of others through Krispy Kreme. If we can do that in any country and in partners, and we see a lot of folks really wanting to open up, we're just going to be really disciplined about how we expand international.
Fair enough. At the rate I'm going, my vacation might be to one of your stores to watch some donuts being made. It's been a heck of a year. We will. we'll leave it there,
Brian. And always, I thank all the Krispy Kremers for always just doing an incredible job across the globe for us.
You got it. Krispy Kreme CEO Mike Tattersfield. Have a good rest of the week.
Take care.